Hey guys, welcome back to another Hoel Roofing podcast. Today we have Cayla Kennedy with us, and she's going to talk a little bit about her small business and about her debt-free journey through the Dave Ramsey. So we're going to get started. Cayla, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Cayla Kennedy. I live in Rushville, not really, Carthage. I'm 25. I own a
just recently.
Yes,
happy belated
thank
birthday.
you. I'm 25. I have a 1.5-year-old son. I've been married to Dylan for 2.5 years.
Almost forgot there,
yes.
didn't you?
Yeah, and we just got consumer debt free. We still have our house, but in January.
That's awesome. So now that you started talking about that, we'll just start off with that. Okay. How did you guys get into your journey, and what made you, what was that pivotal point that you guys were like, hey, we got to do this?
When we couldn't pay our bills. So we had Everett in September of 2022. I am self-employed, so I don't have paid maternity leave or anything. Mm-hmm. I think we saved $5,000 for it. And from September to January, it was gone. Dylan, he's construction, so
yes.
It's the slow time then. Mm-hmm. I think it was January 31st is when we called Bob. We're like, hey, something has got to change. I don't know what to do. Can you help us? So then, I don't think it was that day. I think it was a couple days after he came over, kind of helped us with our budget and told us what we need to delegate here and there and to help us get back on track. And then you guys took all your employees to the Dave conference mm-hmm. and gave us 2 tickets. We were actually supposed to go to a Hardy concert that night, but we decided to go to Dave, and we're really glad we did because it really lit a fire under our butts to get going. So, yeah.
That's awesome because, most people be like, no, we've already got these tickets. Mm-hmm. Thanks for the invite, but we're not going. We're going to go to the concert and do something fun. So I'm glad that you guys took it serious mm-hmm. and that you really wanted to change your family tree for mm-hmm. Everett so you guys weren't struggling and stressing over bills. Kind of tell me what was some of your debts that you guys had? What got you?
So I didn't know that you can make payments to hospitals. Mm-hmm. So with Everett's birth, I wouldn't call it an emergency C-section, mm-hmm. but he was stuck, so we had to get him out. So that was an extra cost. So we had his hospital bills. I think Dylan had $2,000 left of his school loans, my car, and maybe just a couple other little things, but it added up to $53,000. So,
and I know you guys in the process of, or in that time, you sold Dylan's first house, but you guys were mm-hmm. living there, and then bought a family farm yes. that you had. Mm-hmm. It was in your family, mm-hmm. and I know that kind of changed things too.
Yeah, so it's an old farmhouse. We went from a 600 square foot house to a much bigger house yes. on land. So our payment went up significantly, and we had all of those bills, and so that was a big chunk too.
And I think people don't realize that you're living, you're paying your bills, you can do it, and then that opportunity comes up, which I understand. It's a part of your family. Mm-hmm. You want to get that while you can. But people don't realize making that big purchase, how much your bills can increase, especially an old farmhouse, mm-hmm. because you sink so much money into it, trying to just update it all,
make it livable.
And I know you guys still have things to do to mm-hmm. it that you want to do, but people don't realize, hey, we're fine now, and then you make that change, and then it's oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. This is a big increase of what we were paying before. So tell me about some of the sacrifices you guys made to get out of debt.
So we sold my car.
Which I know that was a big pain point for you.
My beloved Durango.
Yes.
I stopped shopping. That was a big one. And getting my nails done, we just literally put everything extra towards our debt. So that was no going to concerts, no going out for friends' birthdays, no going to mezcal every week.
And that's, in the time, it's hard because you're man, I really want to go do this. Or you see the shiny objects on Facebook, Instagram, you're like, man, I really want to buy that. But in the process of doing it, it's hard. But then once you do it, it's like, man, I'm so glad that we did do it. Have any of your friends reached out to you? Have you guys talked about it to any of your friends?
So actually, yeah, I've had a lot of clients ask me about it, and I've sent them books and like the Debt Snowball, and I don't know that if they're keeping up with it, but I love sharing our journey because, I mean, I was 25, I was 23 when we started. Dylan was 26, so I feel like that's very young to be doing what we were doing.
And that's awesome because a lot of people, they get to a place like in their 40s and then realize like, oh crap, like we need to start this now.
Yeah.
You guys are starting in your 20s, so you're light years ahead of your peers of what they're doing. And then you guys will have the opportunity, kind of like we've had, of like people, they get to that spot where they're like, we don't know what to do. And then they'll ask you, and you can just, they have to do it on their own. I feel like a lot of people think, hey, they come in, they talk to us, and they're like, so where's the magic pill? Like, so how do I, like, there is no magic pill. You have to work hard. You have to make sacrifices, like selling your car or selling stuff. Like, Jonathan's working on his, he works for us, and he's working on his snowball, our debt snowball right now. He's selling stuff. He's, doing side jobs. He's picking stuff up that's free on the side of the road and selling it. Like, just he's really hungry for that, and like we've had that opportunity of planting that seed, and so now you get the opportunity. And even if they don't run with it and they're not like gazelle intense like Dave says, you're still giving them a little bit of that, and then all you can do is try to help, and hopefully they take something away from it. So that's really cool that you guys are doing that, and it just comes to a point where it's worth it. Like, and now looking back.
Yeah, I love telling people about it, and even the numbers are like, holy cow, that's a lot. But we have you and Bob, and then the massage therapist at the salon, Megan and Craig Tucker. They are debt free, and they've done it also. So it's nice having both of you to be our mentors and help us. And if I get a little off track, Megan's like,
should you really?
Yeah, I'm like, probably not. So it's nice knowing people personally who have done it and have been through it, and we can ask for help and guidance and know that you need to put in the work to do it. It's not just going to happen overnight.
And it's really hard because people think that you're crazy when you're doing it, or like, I don't understand, like, just get a credit card, or just take a loan out or something. Somebody asked me the other day, like, so how much was the construction loan on your house? And I just looked at him, and I was like, you know who I am.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
I don't have that. So, but people that don't understand that world of diving into it deep and wanting to be debt-free, they just think it's crazy and that it can't be done. So I'm really proud of you guys for doing that, and keep up the good work. Just plant that seed for somebody else, and I'm telling you, when you guys get closer to 30, people your age are going to be coming to you and be like, how did you guys do it? What do I need to do? We're sinking. We don't know what to do. And people don't realize, especially like Dylan, when it's raining, he can't work. If it's wintertime, he slows down. People, they're making good money in the summertime, but they don't squirrel it back for the wintertime or when they're not working 40 hours a week or overtime. So just being cautious of that and saving money and putting back a rainy day fund.
Yeah, the emergency fund.
And it really is, like, people think it's, Dave Ramsey, that's common sense, and he's a scam artist and he's making all this money. Well, a lot of people don't have, if their parents were bad with money and they saw that, they don't have the resources. So a lot of times Dave Ramsey's the only, they Google it, they find him, and they start listening to him. That's the only thing that they know how to, so it's basic principles, but sometimes that's the only resource people have. So I'm just glad that you guys did it. You guys took initiative to do it, and you didn't wait until you were 30 years old and you're doing it now. So
Yeah, thank you guys for your guidance and helping.
Yes, anytime. And then if anybody comes, you guys stumped, just let us know. So, all right, let's talk about your hairstylist.
Yes.
How did you get into that field? How did that all start in your life? What made you want to do that?
Okay. So when I was probably elementary school age, I had 2 friends and their moms both did hair and did it home here in town, actually. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like, they get to work from home and make pretty hair all day. I was like, this is the life. So throughout my schooling, I played basketball. I had back surgery my sophomore year. I played my junior year. I was going to go to IU East to play basketball. Didn't know what I was going to go to school for. I just wanted to play ball. I had a bad fall. I think it was like sectionals my junior year, and I couldn't feel my legs. So I was like, holy cow, this is not worth it to me. So I didn't play my senior year. But back it up to sophomore year, maybe sophomore or freshman year, when you go to like the vocational programs. And so I did that, and I toured a couple others in the cosmetology, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is so cool. So my junior and senior year, I did vocational in the mornings, and then we'll go to high school in the afternoons. And I graduated the Cosmo program and got my license before I walked for high school.
Nice.
So I did that, then graduated high school. I don't know if I worked there my junior year, but my senior year I worked in a tanning salon that was connected to a hair salon. So I had my foot in the door there, and I started doing hair there. Well, that was in 2017. From 2017 to 2019, I worked in 3 salons. And I was like, all right, this isn't really the vibe that I like, all the women. And
it's really hard because you have to, especially with females, sometimes there's cliques if people have been there forever, or there's cattiness, or there's just, it takes a special group of ladies to work together, to be around each other all the time. And then you have more women coming in. So that makes it even worse.
It gets a little hot at times.
Yes.
So in 2000, I think it was May of 19, I opened Wild Root Salon. My best friend actually came with me, and we worked in Newcastle until I think I moved Wild Roots to Rushville in 2021. But from when I was in Newcastle, COVID happened, and they were telling us we couldn't work. The unknown. I was like, holy cow, how am I going to pay my bills and these salon bills? By the grace of God, I did it. I don't know how. And then we got back to work. I moved the salon here to Rushville. And then Dylan and I got married later that year. And we've been doing hair here ever since.
That's awesome. And I know that Dylan did a lot of work getting it ready, the salon. It's super cute.
Yeah, and very thankful for him.
I know that you've got Megan in there doing massages, and then a new girl that's in there doing lashes.
And eyebrows, yeah.
So that's great that you're kind of getting more people through the door in that way.
And we have our own little spaces, so we're not in each other's hair and kind of doing our own thing, so it works out really well.
Now, do you think you'll get another girl in?
I doubt it.
The booth?
No.
You're like, no, this is my space.
And hair salons get so loud.
Yeah.
And for Megan, people are paying to relax. I fall asleep during massages. I don't want me to be blow drying your hair and the other stylist trying to talk over while someone's trying to get a nice relaxing massage.
Yeah, I always feel bad when I'm in there and she's doing a massage. I'm like, I hope I'm not being too loud.
She says it's not bad, but when I get massages, nobody's doing hair.
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is nice.
Tell me some of the struggles that you've had. Just, I know you mentioned COVID, but other struggles of owning your own small business.
I think just the overhead of everything, and now everything's much more expensive than it was in 2019.
Yes.
So trying to navigate that and figure that out, also while trying to pay off our debt. So I pay booth rent myself to the salon.
Okay.
And before Brooklyn got there, I was paying more because I didn't want to raise Megan's rent.
Yes.
So I was putting in the extra. Well, now I still pay a little bit more than both of them, but it's equal with them. So that helps a lot. But it was a struggle from last January to now, trying to navigate how to put this money here and this money here.
And I think people, they don't realize, like, hey, the cost of shampoo, coloring, it's all gone up, which I feel like people see that going to the grocery store, but I know it's probably hard, but like, hey, by the way, like my prices are going up. Do you ever get any backlash of like, why is this so expensive?
Yes. I feel like my clientele, I've had them for years. I get new every now and then, but they come in and my prices are where they're at. My clients from 2017, where I did $65 hair colors, they're like, holy cow, you've doubled. I'm like, well, so is
everything else.
Yeah. And I have, my hair in 2017 is not what I did now. So I've went to classes and continued my education and all that. And I had somebody come in and sharpen my shears, and my 4 shears was $5,000 4 years ago. I didn't even want to ask how much they are now. I'm like, can you just sharpen them for $30?
Yeah.
I can still use them.
I mean, little stuff like that, people don't think of that. Like, you have to, keep it clean. So cleaning products, just little stuff.
Like the little waters and toilet paper.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't think that how much toilet paper we go through, but thank goodness for a Costco membership.
Is that in the budget?
Yes, it is.
I'm just kidding. So how do you balance mom life and being a business owner?
So that is probably the most backlash I've got from my clients, because I cut evenings out. I don't work evenings anymore, or weekends. I usually work 4 to 5 days a week. I try to take Wednesdays off, but like Everett had an appointment another day this week, so I worked that day. It fluctuates, but I work Monday through Friday. I normally take 1 day off, and then I work from 9 to 5. And Everett's daycare now, I don't have to pick him up until 6, which I don't like leaving him there that long.
Yeah.
I miss him,
yeah.
and I want to go get him. But it's nice because I usually work, if I take Wednesday off, I'll work later Tuesday and Thursday, and then I'll go get him at 5:30 or 6. And I do have some clients, one particular, she's been with me since 2017, and she works in Muncie. So I'll go get Everett, take him to his mama's or at Dylan's home, and then I'll come back and do her hair. And I have some that I'll work with.
Yeah.
But they've been with me forever, so.
Which I understand that. Like, they've been so loyal to you, so you want to
they've been with me through every stage of life as an adult.
Yes.
So.
It's nice that you can set those boundaries. I've learned the hard way of, like, getting burnout of like, I'm trying to run the business, take care of 3 kids, do this, do that. I finally, and I think we've had this conversation too, set at 10 o'clock, my phone goes on Do Not Disturb.
Yes, I love that. I love that thing on our phones.
If I want to respond to somebody, I can, but...
Your phone isn't dinging all through the night. Yeah.
If I don't want to, then it can wait until the morning. I know you've said, like, some people, like, message you at, like, midnight or something, and, like, hey, I need an appointment. Like, can this not wait until tomorrow? But,
and being a new mom, I mean, he's a year and a half, but I wasn't sleeping, so then I finally got to sleep and my phone would ding. So that's why I finally turned on the Do Not Disturb, but some people, they just, and maybe they work nights and they don't realize it. And
that's the thing. Everybody's on a different schedule. So if you don't set boundaries yourself, then those people will, people that wake up at 6 a.m. that want to blast you a text message, or people that are night owls.
30 more minutes.
Yes,
sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's a good thing to set those boundaries and just know that, hey, this is my time. I'm a mom now. Like, I
definitely think having Everett, I've really set him in place. But I think COVID, like, when I got back to work from COVID, I was like, man, I'm not working every weekend.
Yes.
Like, I want to live my life. And because at that time I thought we're all going to die from COVID. I didn't know what was happening. So I cut back then because I was working from sunup to sundown. And so that helped a little bit. But definitely having Everett, I really was like, all right, I'm done. I want to be a mom too. I want to be a wife.
And you realized how quickly it goes. He's already a year and a half, and you're like, where does the time go? So, and it's like, it'll be there during the week. Like, I can address it during the week. So, is there ever a time that kind of a little bit of friction between you and Dylan because of that, or stress, or anything like that? Because of the business, or doing anything like just
not really.
Juggling it all?
I think we balance each other very well. I get anxious, and
he's like,
he's very cool. He's like, it'll be what it'll be, and or like playing something. He's like, yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm like, no, this is what happened. I'm putting it on my schedule. This is happening. He's like, all right.
And see, like I'm like that. I'm like, it'll be fine. Like we'll figure it out. It's whatever. So, I'm totally. I understand how.
Yeah. I'm like, no, like I have a schedule. He's finally starting to look at it when he makes his coffee in the morning because it's above the coffee maker. He's like, oh yeah, choice. You Everett has an appointment Wednesday. I'm like, you remember? He's like, I looked at it this morning. And I was like, oh, you, yeah, this is awesome.
30 minutes ago. Yeah. He'll forget by lunchtime.
His appointment. He'll be like, what are you doing?
I told you this morning what I was doing.
You read it.
Is there any advice you would give to a young girl in high school that's thinking about going to vocational or thinking about doing business on their own? Like, we talked to a girl the other day that was thinking about doing dog grooming or something with dogs, but she's like, I don't like blood, or so is there any advice you would give just to anybody that's thinking about doing something on their own after high school and that's kind of up in the air about it?
For the vocational part of that, I would definitely tell anyone you go half day during school. I think my cosmetology program is $535, and I think actual beauty schools back in 2015 was $26,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's a big, even if you don't do it after school, if this is something that you want to do, spend the $500. I don't know what it is now, but back then it was $500 instead of the $26,000, and be like, I actually don't like this.
That's crazy that you can go in high school and it's that much cheaper.
Yeah.
I mean, because you get it's legit. Like,
yeah, I mean, you obviously learn more behind the chair, and I'm sure you know that too.
Oh, yeah.
But you learn everything you need to pass the state board. So it was, I would tell anyone to do it. If you're thinking, not just cosmetology, but culinary, welding. Dylan did welding, and he worked at a traveling welding for a long time and made good money. So it gets you in the door for less than what it would be to go to a bigger school. Yeah. Dylan went to Hobart after high school, but he did the welding, so he already had the knowledge of what it all entailed before he went to Hobart to do that. Now the after school side, I would definitely, if that's what you want to do, go for it. Don't tell anyone, or not that part. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I was with someone who was a bump on the log, for better terms. Yeah. And they weren't supportive at all, but like my mom, my dad, my girlfriends, like everyone was like, yeah, do it. You can do it. I know you can. Yeah. You just need that support system and group behind you.
Yes.
And I love showing people that tell me no that, yes, I can, and I'm going to. And that's just kind of what I did.
That's awesome. Like, it's so hard when you're young that people are like, you can't do that. Like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And, like, I feel like if you're not a strong-willed person, like, those people plant those seeds. They're like, well, my mom told me I couldn't do that. My dad told me I couldn't do that. Or grandma told me that was a dumb idea. So it takes a strong person to be like, nope, this is what I'm doing, if you don't have that support system.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I told the girl that was asking, I was like, just go and volunteer. Like, if you think that you want to do, like, one girl wanted to be a vet tech. And I was like, if that's what you really want to do, go to the animal shelter and volunteer. Be around dogs. Go to a vet and volunteer, because I was like, when dogs come into the clinic, or a cat, they're not all cuddly and nice, because they're going to get worked on. I was like, so you need to go shadow and see if that's what you really want to do.
You don't get puppy cuddles all day.
Yeah, I mean, they come in, but then you get a dog that has a sore or something that needs to be sedated just to clean its wound. Because,
give it a little pill and...
Yeah, I mean, so that's what I encourage, like, just go and find out before you, if they did go to cosmetology school afterwards, and then they're like, oh, I hate this.
Yeah.
Because I knew a girl that she was all signed up to do that, and then had the check written out, was going to go, I think it was like PJs or something. And then she decided that she didn't like the feeling of hair all over. And I was like, well, you're going to have hair all over you.
I can't tell you how many times I pulled hair, like, out of my pants.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally cutting hair all day or touching it. So, fortunately, she didn't make that mistake and go and get a bunch of debt and then realize. Yeah. But, yeah, you're right. Like, just take advantage of it in high school. Looking back, I wish I would have just done something just to get that extra knowledge and be like, well, this is... It doesn't hurt anything to learn a new skill. Yeah. And then if you decide you don't like it, then, I mean... you're out like a couple $100 or whatever it was.
And I don't know if any other programs you have to pay, but we had to pay for like our books, our uniforms, our kits with all of our tools in it. So I don't know if they're all the same, but it's substantially cheaper than what it would be to go. And I graduated at 18 and I had my own salon at 19. And
that's awesome that you
I just turned 20, I believe, but
that mature at that age, be like, this is what I want to do. This is, because I'm sure all your friends that age were not doing what you were doing.
They were all still in college.
Yeah. And then I'm sure some of them that went to big universities aren't even
doing anything. Yeah.
Yep. And some of the smartest people I knew in high school didn't end up doing anything with their life. So
and they have all this school debt.
Yes.
And I didn't have any.
And I always tell when I talk to the classes at the high school, like, figure it out before you go to school. Just because you get accepted to the college, of course they're going to accept you unless your grades are just horrible. Like, they want your money.
Yeah.
It's not about you as an individual most of the time. So I always encourage them, go to Ivy Tech, go to IU East, like, stay home. Like, I know it's not as fun and cool.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you felt like you missed out on anything not going away to college. Like, that's how I felt, because all my friends were going away to these, like, Ball State, Purdue, IU, and I just felt like I was being left behind in a way. And I know you were back home working and doing stuff, but did you ever feel like you were missing out on that part of your life?
No, I don't think so. I feel like the part that people miss out on college is like the party life, but I never did that in high school anyway, so I never felt like I was missing anything, because I was working. I moved out. I graduated in June. I got my own apartment in September, so I was doing hair, had my own place. I just didn't really think that I wanted that.
Yeah.
And I know I didn't want it.
Yeah.
Because I was going to go to play basketball, but I was going to go for business, because that's just what I thought would be best for me. But I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I would have wasted all that money and not have used it.
Well, and it kind of, I know at the time you probably thought that injury was, like, devastating. Like, this is what I want to do. Like, what am I supposed to do now? But I feel like it kind of, like, steered you where you are
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
So it was now looking back, it was a blessing. But at the time, I know you probably were like, man,
am I going to be able to walk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, basketball was probably your life.
Oh, yeah,
so
absolutely.
You probably didn't know, like, where to go from there, especially your senior year. You can't play.
I think it crushed my mom's heart more than it crushed mine.
I mean, yeah, you put all that work into it for so many years, and then just bam.
Like that.
That's crazy for sure. And I know you mentioned earlier about your back, and you had how many rods and stuff?
I have 2 rods and 26 screws. From like the base of my neck to like the top of my booty. I cannot bend.
So does that, whenever you're standing to do hair, does it bother you during the day?
So I don't want to sound like a macho man, but I hurt often, but I kind of like put it to the back of my mind and not think about it until like it gets to the point where I can't. Like this morning I had a pain management checkup appointment because it was so bad a couple weeks ago that I couldn't, like Dylan took me to the ER.
Oh my gosh.
But then I'm fine now.
Yeah.
So it's like when the flare-ups happen, it's terrible, but like I still work. We have to pay our bills.
Yes.
We're saving for emergency fund. Like I'll get through it, but standing all day doesn't bother me as much as I thought it would.
Yeah.
I think I'm just I had it 10 years ago.
Yeah. I
think I'm just used to it now. There's some stuff, like, I had to relearn how to play basketball. I had to relearn how to do everything. I can't bend my back. So, like, picking up Everett, I had to, like, figure out.
Squat.
Yeah. Like, you'd think my quads would be great, but they aren't.
No, that's awesome because, like, there's so many people that would use that as a crutch, like, well, I have back problems, I can't work, like, so that's awesome that you just push through and have that mentality of, like, nope, I got to get stuff done, I'm not going to let it bring me down, so that's awesome. Also, tell us how tall you are, Cayla.
Well, so when I had back surgery, I was 5'10.5", and I came out 6'2".
Oh my gosh.
So when I went to the doctor this morning for a checkup, she said, "You're 6'1.5", and I was like, "I'll take it. Great."
So did it stretch you then?
Yes. So my it was curved and twisted, so it was laying on my heart and lungs.
Oh my gosh.
And that's where, like, yeah, we need to do this. But we had to wait till my growth plates closed. So then when I had surgery, they twisted and straightened me back out.
So it gave you, like, how many inches? Like 4 inches?
A lot, yeah.
But now you're shrinking.
Yeah, but I'm fine with it. If I could take some off my femurs, I probably would.
Oh my god. And you can't wear heels, unfortunately. No. Dylan's tall too.
He is, but like those boots I bought the other day with the 2-inch heel, his eyes were at my throat, and I was like, I cannot wear this.
Like, one day you will find the perfect shoes to wear out with Dylan. No, that's really interesting that it gave you height. But I mean, it makes sense. I'll
show you an X-ray after this. It was crazy.
Well, is there any final thoughts? Anything else that you could think of? Any words of encouragement?
I think for the debt, just like do it. Don't wait until you can't pay your bills. You have to ask somebody for help.
Yeah.
Because that sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm thankful for the little, what do they call it, community or tribe that we have. We have so many people rooting for us. Find those people. Have them help you stick to your plan and not be like, hey, you want to come do this? Or, hey, you want... Like, they understand that we're doing the debt payoff. We're in gazelle mode. Like, don't have those people that are trying to... The devil and the angel on your shoulder.
Yes.
Have the angels.
Oh, no, you can do it. You can do it. And I know Jake was probably... He understood what you guys were trying to do, so he was good about...
He actually paid our mortgage 1 month.
Oh, that's a good friend there.
We're very... And we paid him back.
Yes,
the next week. But it was...
But somebody like that can... They know that you're going through a hard time and help you out. And, like, Jake wouldn't even want the money back.
No, he didn't want to take it. I said, Jake, I've worked hard for this. Take this dang money. He was like, all right.
And that's the kind of people you need around you, that they understand, like, what you're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're not discouraging you from your journey, but then they will help you along the way also. So
and to have people tell you that they're proud of you.
Yeah.
Like, I could cry right now. It's just, like, such a good feeling. It's not like, good job, kid. It's, no, I'm proud of you. You've paid off this debt. And it's just... It's a good feeling.
Especially older people, because they want that feeling, but they've been stuck for so long that they're like, well, I'm
it just
in
is
my
what it is.
40s and 50s now. I can't do anything about it. So I am proud of you guys for doing that.
Thank you.
Again, because it takes a lot, especially at that young age, because no one wants to talk about paying off debt. Everybody wants to talk about buying a new truck, buying a boat. Yeah. And I know you guys had a truck that you got rid of, and a razor and all the toys,
all the things.
But that kind of stuff comes and goes. Like, you being financially free and not having those burdens, like, that's forever. You can buy new toys.
Yeah. Jake has a boat. My dad has a boat. I'll go to Troyer's and get the lunch meat.
Yeah, you get the cheap end of the deal.
I'll get 30 or 20 for gas in the boat.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you came in to talk to us today.
Thank you.
You're doing great things, you and Dylan. Little Everett's gonna have a different family tree because you guys made that decision, so that's awesome. And if you guys need a hairstylist, that she loves blonde, doing blonde. I know blonde's kind of your
my niche.
Yeah, and we struggle with mine.
But I still do brown hair. Yes. It's not just blondes.
It's the hard water in Rush County that we're struggling with. But I appreciate you coming in today, talking with me, we'll see you again on the next podcast, guys.
Yes.